All right.
This is your guy.
Oh yeah. So, are you
We are all
physicists?
friends here.
Yeah, friends. Can you just say where you're from, for example? So we're at the entrance of the Atlas.
Speak French.
Speak French. You speak English?
Elle demande d'où tu viens, si tu es français, quelle nationalité tu es.
Français.
Français.
Are you French? Français.
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 And he's
Et
the
vous
head
travaillez, you work in...
Au CERN depuis 1977.
Wow, from 77.
Yeah.
Ooh. All right. So, can you say...
Safety officer.
Safety officer?
Yeah, the head. Safety.
Is that the same elevator since then, or is it different? This is a new one, right?
Yes.
This what's it called? The cave.
Cavern.
The cavern. Yeah.
When did this lift get built? C'était quand l'ascenseur?
Quand a été construit l'ascenseur, 98.
Non, bien avant, bien avant.
95, on a commencé
Oui, mais il existait déjà avec le LEP.
Ah, d'accord.
It was already there with
Tu sais,
the.
le toit que tu vois en photo à gauche, c'est le puits. C'était le puits qui donnait accès, mais il n'y avait pas d'accès.
Mais il n'y avait pas de caverne.
Il n'y avait pas de caverne.
Le PX15
C'était un puits qui a été fait comme ça.
All right. So this one has been there for since 80. Did you say 80?
95.
95.
1995.
But
Because you know that we are using a tunnel where we are building the accelerator
right.
for our
There was already
collision.
a tunnel before. I mean,
the tunnel was already built for a previous generation.
Je m'excuse, mais il faut que j'aille au bureau
you have
pour
to
les
leave.
visites.
So could you say, for example, where you're from?
Yeah, I'm from England.
From England.
Yeah.
And so what are you? Which part are you working on?
I'm working on the middle part of Atlas, the tracking detector.
The which detector?
Tracking detector.
Tracking
the inner detector.
Oh, that's the big one, no? That's
that's the cute small one.
the small one.
Yeah.
The most dense
All right.
one
The most dense.
with millions of channels of electronics. So
Ooh.
like giant cameras.
Yeah.
You can see all the tracks that the particles leave.
Yeah. Is that the one called Pixel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm working on the one outside the pixels. So there's the pixels, then there's
Yeah.
the strips, silicon strips,
right.
which I work on, and outside
Right.
that are straws. So that's the 3 layers of the
All right.
inner detector.
So, for example, how large is that part? I mean, how is like 20 meters long?
No,
or?
no. It's about 2 meter diameter, 7
Yeah.
meters long.
7 meters
So
long.
it's really quite compact, the
Oh,
middle
yeah?
part.
And
6 million channels of electronics. So
6 million channels of
the
electronics.
pixel is 80 million channels.
80 million channels. But I mean, so it's very, very, very high, very complex. Is it?
Yeah.
It's very new. I mean, there's no. Has that been used?
It's
That
been
kind of
used
technology
before, but not on this scale.
Yeah.
So there have been silicon strip detectors in previous experiments,
Yeah.
but never with this area of silicon.
Yeah.
So in the silicon strips we have something like 6 meters squared of
Yeah.
silicon wafers.
So for example, what would you do like in a normal day? Why would you go down and what would you do?
Because we're finishing building it.
Finishing to build it?
Yeah. It's not all in there yet. So
Yeah.
we put in pieces and then we have to connect them up and
Connect,
check that they work.
yeah.
Check the pipes don't
Alright.
leak. Check the wires are plugged in properly. Basic stuff. Electricals and plumbing.
Yeah.
Thousands of connections to do.
Thousands of. It's just like computer cables, or it's different.
Yeah,
It's very
I think
special
There's
cables.
some power cables, there's some just cables to provide voltages and then optical fibers to get the data out.
Oh yeah. Is that one of the parts where there's the highest amount of data that's coming out of? Or
Yeah,
yeah?
the central part.
Because
That's
it's
the most
practically
challenging.
around the collision point, so it's where everything gets
yeah?
started.
Okay, I need to go talk to him now.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all I
thanks.
say. Okay, ciao.
Thanks. Can you explain where you're from and what part you work on?
Yeah, I'm from Italy originally, but I work with Berkeley National Lab since many years, and I'm collaborating in Atlas since 1994, and I help building part of the central detector.
All right, so
the strip detector.
Since 1994, that means the project has been...
First little pieces brought to CERN to try with real particles and see how they would work, irradiated to see if the electronics would stand the high level of radiation that will be generated by this collision of protons.
So you tested some things on the old one?
Yeah,
before
it's called R&D, for
Yeah?
research and development.
All right.
So then you kind of improve the design, and in many steps, over 10-12 years, we reached the point of having the real detector in.
All right.
installed.
So the actual plan of upgrading the whole, CERN. So that was like a long time ago that the plant was invented. I mean,
people have been talking about doing these experiments since 20 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's to verify models, physics models that were conceived 40 years ago.
Oh yeah.
So
could you explain a little bit how it's different from the first version, from the old version?
There is the old version. Okay, there are precursors.
Yeah.
So in order to discover more about the physics, about particle interaction and forces, you need to go higher in energy. And so you start by building an accelerator that has a certain energy, the one that you can achieve at the time. This was like 20 years ago with Fermilab in the States, near Chicago. There is this big lab. Then some discoveries were done, and then people say, okay, we need to go further. And once you want to go further, you want to create new particles in order to understand the new particles that are underneath, which means you need more energy. And then you have to start conceiving an accelerator which is more powerful. So this is how it works.
Much more powerful.
Magnets. The magnets, of course, are much higher intensity, and the energy of the beam is, as you probably know, is 14 tera-electron volt. The current accelerator is 2 tera-electron volt, the one in Fermilab near Chicago. So it's a big step that we've been taking. And so and you have to build a different size, much larger size experiment tool to be able to detect and contain all these particles that are produced from the collision of the protons.
Because I've heard that it uses as much power as the whole of city of Geneva. Is that something like that?
The accelerator, So because you have 27 kilometers of magnets, 8 Tesla magnets. Because you have to bend this particle that go almost at the speed of light, and you have to accelerate them until they reach the energy that is desired, and then make them collide when they are ready in a certain experiment, which is built around the collision point. So.
All right. But this part, the Atlas, uses much more power than a normal part of the
accelerator. Yeah.
So it's just one point where the magnets are much more larger than the rest of the. Of course, I mean.
I've just told you it's 27 kilometers of magnets, 1,200 dipole magnets, 800 quadrupole magnets, the one that keep the beam focused. The dipoles keep the beam around in circle. And then there are all correction magnets all around. There are about 8,000 magnets altogether, 6,000 magnets, something the disorder. So all in a 27 kilometer. There are radio frequency cavity to accelerate the particles every time they go through it. So it's a very complex machine. But we are building not the accelerator. I mean, I'm not part of the accelerator team. I am in the experiment. So I build part of the experiment together with other 2,000 people.
Together with 2,000 people. Could you talk about a bit about?
My group is 250. My group that just works on the central detector, inner detector. So this tells you. 250 people just to do one part.
Are you related to what she was working on?
Yes. She's actually the project leader of the silicon strip detector. I am a scientist and physicist that collaborates.
Shall I write your names in the blog? Can you say her name and your name, or just so people can search you and find you a video? You don't?
No, look, I have hundreds of entries when you do Google and search my name, so I don't need another one. But
I don't need another one, okay.
Because I have a lot of publications and a lot of web pages where I put all my data, all my research and all my progress. So I also am a web developer too, in this sense, because I use the web development. It says I use the web to put all the data. Many physicists do, because in fact, as you know, the protocol, the HTTP protocol, was invented at CERN for use. Daily use
to share
data, information, meetings, etc. This was 20 years ago, and so then it was taken over by the world, and it became the big tool that everybody uses on a daily basis. But of course, we are probably the main users of this for our work.
We use a lot the web very early in the time of the web.
My first web page was in 1994. Yeah.
That's when you came to CERN, kind of, or when you started working on Atlas?
Yeah, when I started working on Atlas, but I was in Berkeley. Actually, I'm here working in the installation, but I'm a scientist at this lab in the States. So.
All right. Do you think I can interview him? Maybe I'll just make...
Best Russian cable team.
So, hello, you're Sasha?
Yes.
Yeah? And so you work down there in the Atlas?
Yes.
So
about 2 years.
2 years. So where are you from?
From Russia, Protvino,
Yeah?
near Moscow.
Near Moscow. Is that, are you many people from that area, or, yeah, many people from your same background, or what's it called, the same school, or same...
About 100 people were here during 2 years.
100 people? That some of them you worked with before CERN, or how did you come here? Did you are you a specialist in what do you do?
No, our team only work with cables.
Cables.
Yeah?
Only cables.
Cables.
Cables installation.
Yeah?
In fact, I installed 9,000 of my cables.
9,000 cables.
Yes.
So
just my cables. There are many others.
just your cables.
Yeah.
So
my little part.
So, for example, what kind of other projects did you do before?
What kind of projects did before?
Yeah.
I don't know. In our team, there are many specialists.
Yeah.
They work in many areas.
But do you work specially with physics?
There are physics and there are electronics. There are vacuum specialists.
Yeah.
Cable
So
specialists.
Sasha is part of these teams that come for a longer period, like months and so on, to work on special installation projects for Atlas. So in particular, he's working in the team. He's actually leading the team for cable installation.
Oh, all right. So how does the so you're very high specialist and all that, you know, all about.
It's very good.
I mean, if you miss one connection, it's not good. No, everything has to work.
No,
it's not allowed.
You test everything.
One connection goes to one part of the detector, which is this big. If it doesn't work, you lose. You make it it's like making a hole in the detector. So you want that part to be powered or.
So you test and test and test and stuff like that.
Yeah. This is my job, since I'm responsible for cable installation of my detector. And Sasha is leading the team that actually does the installation.
So what kind of tests do you do, for example? Do you have to test the interference, all that?
Electrical test, crosstalk, absolutely.
Yeah?
Yep.
It doesn't, I mean, it's really important it doesn't fail. Yeah? And it should work for many years.
For 10 years.
10 years.
10 years is minimum.
10 years,
yes.
minimum.
Yeah.
Because if there's a problem, it's difficult to go down and fix it, or?
There will be some periods where there is no beam, and so we will be allowed to go there and replace things that we are monitoring from up on the surface that might be broken or malfunctioning. But in general, things should be pretty reliable. Otherwise, you cannot go there anytime you want and fix it.
All right, because of the 9,000 cables, some of them are like in the middle of everything and you cannot just access it.
Kilometers of cables. So they're really long. They have to reach from the detector to the counting rooms, and so there are 70 meters, 70.
70 meters?
70.
Every cable.
Every cable. Yeah. What is a counting room, did you say?
Counting room is where this cable end up and connect to power supply, to readout board for fibers, optical fibers, and so on.
All right.
So where all the equipment, electronic equipment is working, and they are attached